So much has been going on in the Doctor Who world, we need to speak about it. Hello guys, welcome back to New Who HQ, I am Matt. This video is just basically a little bit of a rundown of everything that's been happening in the last few days because so much has been announced. Before we get into the video though, I do just want to make a quick little point about a video uploaded a couple of days ago which has now been taken down, where I explained about the Sun article, all about the TV ratings, wokeness and the Disney deal. And I think I decided to take down the video mainly because I went quite deep into the woke side of things, and not that anything that I said was bad or anything like that. It was just quite political, and them type of videos often attract quite a lot of viewers, some viewers that I would prefer not to be attracted to the channel, and it just gives me quite a reputation as quite a political Doctor Who YouTuber. Obviously I have touched on politics before, but that was probably the deepest I've ever gone down, and I was regretting it as soon as I uploaded it, but I appreciate everybody that did comment on that video, and for people that didn't watch it, you didn't really miss that much already. So let's get into what's been happening at the moment. So, well, we've got an announcement date for Series 2 of Doctor Who. Yeah, this hasn't officially been announced, but it also technically has. It's been a little bit weird. So, I found this out on the Independent article called Doctor Who Fans Confused by Random Announcement About New Season. The reason this has been deemed random is because it was during a rugby match, I believe. Now, who the hell is a Doctor Who fan and a rugby fan? Yeah, there probably are some. I certainly wasn't. I certainly was not expecting it. So it says here that the BBC have confirmed the Doctor Who will return with a new season on the 12th of April after a surprise announcement that appeared on the broadcaster's iPlayer service on Friday. See, on iPlayer, we had the trailer for Doctor Who, and then it sort of said, and then it said Saturday the 12th of April was the announcement date, which I found out on X. I wasn't actually watching the rugby. So yes, it took fans by surprise after the news was revealed during the BBC's coverage of the, I believe that's under-20 Six Nations rugby match between England and Scotland. I don't really know what any of that means apart from England and Scotland, but it's something to do with rugby. I really know nothing about rugby. So that's good, obviously. There were talks that it was going to be around Eurovision because there's a Eurovision episode and they're going to sort of link that in. I don't even know when Eurovision is. But the 12th of April, if that's correct, we really haven't got that long to wait at all. And really, we should be expecting a proper trailer in the next few weeks. We would hope, next couple of weeks. So that's obviously great news. That hasn't been officially announced. Technically, as I said, it's kind of weird because it kind of has. It's been on the BBC, but Doctor Who have not come out and said this is the date or not come out with a trailer. So I don't know if it was a mistake, I don't quite know. Maybe they thought the no Doctor Who fans would catch on to it, that it would be announced during the rugby because no one's watching it. Of course, if you're going to announce when Doctor Who's starting, you would not do it during a rugby match. It makes no sense in an advertising way to advertise Doctor Who during a rugby match. So that part doesn't really make sense. So it's a little bit weird, but we've got something at least, the 12th of April. So we'll hang on to that date until we are told otherwise. But I'm not saying it is official and it's definitely happening, so don't take my word for it. Alongside that, of course, we've had the news, not just that the Sun started it, but a lot of newspapers, a lot of talk in the Whoniverse about Ncuti Gatwa leaving the show, basically Doctor Who being shelved. That has now been confirmed that the BBC is not shelving Doctor Who, although they did not officially say that it was sort of worded like, we will make a decision about Series 3 after Series 2 regarding the Disney deal. So whilst they're definitely not saying the Doctor Who is going to be shelved, they've kind of left it quite in the middle in terms of where they're answering. In terms of Disney, I hope they do not continue with Doctor Who because I feel like it's causing too many problems. There's been a few problems with Disney. Of course, the bigger budget, I completely understand that, but I weirdly miss the unique, quirky, low budget side of Doctor Who, which is why it stands out and why it's so special for me personally. I just prefer that as the feel. So with no Disney involved, that, and I understand the more of a bigger audience was being allowed to watch the show with Disney, but now that that's already happened, if people still love the show, there will be other ways to access it. I believe Max have got hold of Doctor Who in other countries as well, so there are other options. But yeah, if Disney pull the plug on Doctor Who, I really want to alliterate this. There's a lot of talk about how much control Disney has over Doctor Who. They have absolutely no power to cancel the show. That is most definitely owned by the BBC. And the BBC absolutely love Doctor Who. It's their big cash cow, and they will continue milking it, and I hope they blimmin' well do as well. Some people comparing Doctor Who to Top Gear. Very, very different. I mean, Top Gear had a massive crash, which kind of really didn't help things, but Doctor Who is very, very different to Top Gear, so I wouldn't worry about it. The BBC are not just going to cancel Doctor Who. Could they maybe give it a little bit of a rest for a while? That's not completely out of the question, but in terms of being cancelled, absolutely not. Something else, which I obviously mentioned a tiny little bit, is that Ncuti may well be leaving the role. Again, not been confirmed. There's a running theme here that a lot of what everybody is saying, none of it is, well, it's either not true at all or they're getting ahead of themselves. To the point where I'm now seeing articles about the top 10 favourites to become the new Doctor. And who's number one? David Tennant. Firstly, I don't know why that article was come about. Articles are rarely correct. No one predicted Ncuti would be the next Doctor. But the fact that we've still got Ncuti Gatwa, who hasn't said he's leaving the show at all, we are now getting people betting, and there's a massive thing about who the next Doctor is going to be. If Ncuti does announce that he's leaving, then you start doing the articles. It's up to you if you want to listen to them or not. But you don't do it whilst you've still got a Doctor who's still very much going and has got a whole series ahead of him. David Tennant being number one doesn't really shock me. Just stop with this now. Stop this. Let's bring back David Tennant, because he came back for 3 specials. He's had his own run. He came back in the 50th. He's come back numerous times, and honestly I don't think it will work out as well as people would like, because the people that don't like the show anymore don't like the show as a whole, not because of Ncuti. So bringing back someone like David Tennant, where people had issues with how he was in the specials, for example, that isn't going to bumper up your viewing figures. Moving the show forward is always the best solution. I love multi-Doctor stories. I actually don't mind Doctors coming back for specials, but do not give him his own series. So there we go, that's a bit more updatingness of Doctor Who news. No doubt when this video goes out there'll be 5 million other things that have dropped since I've made this video. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Keep it nice, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.